Hello YouTube, Computerkid 1416 here, and today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in a very long time, which is record a tutorial for you guys on my computer, which is kind of how I got started. So I want to get back to doing these every now and then, because I don't know, I like to help people with stuff. But anyway, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Lastpass, which is a program that I highly recommend that anyone uses. It's pretty easy to use, and it's very secure. So if you're like me, I hate to admit I used to be like this, you may use the same password for everything, or maybe a variation of the same password for everything, or maybe you depend on something like Google Chrome to store your passwords. Well, the problem with that is, of course, there's an obvious problem with using the same password, which is that if someone hacks your account, I was going to say that in my case, someone hacked my Skype, then they potentially have access to all your other accounts as well. So, and you also don't want to store your passwords in something like Google Chrome because, well, if someone gets your device, they can not get all your passwords easily. So, you want to use a secure password manager like Lastpass, which, I mean, there are other ones as well, but this is the one I recommend for the reasons I'm going to get into. But yeah, so let me get into the way how it works and show you guys kind of how to use it. So when you go to the website here, lastpass.com, you'll see this, get Lastpass free. This works on, it's browser based, so that means it'll work on pretty much any web browser on pretty much any operating system, so that's cool. And also if you're on Mac and Windows, you can download a separate desktop app, so there's also an iOS and Android app too, so that's cool. But anyway, you're going to want to go to the website here and click on Get Lastpass Free. It'll try to install the browser extension, which of course I've already downloaded. So if you did download it for the first time, it'll prompt you to log into your account, which of course make an account, which consists of your email, of course, and then a master password, which this is the one password that you are going to have to remember. It's it's your key to the vault, so to speak. So you want to make sure that you remember this. It's very important, because if you forget this master password, it's not like Facebook or something where they can just send you the password. No, they can't do that, because LastPass themselves, for security reasons, do not know your password. They just have kind of a jumbled version of it. So that way, if someone had LastPass, they would not get your information. So yeah, if you forget your master password, there's nothing you can do about it. But there is a password hint that you can use to help you remember it. Now, Lastpass does know that hint, so don't make it too obvious of what the password is. Just do something like, stored in jewelry box or under contacts, that kind of thing. Just kind of a little mental note for yourself of how to get your master password, but nothing that would help anybody remember it. But anyway, yeah, so you want to definitely remember the master password. Make it something good. Not too good that you won't remember it, but good enough so that it's secure. So, anyway, let me go ahead and enter mine, which you can't see conveniently. And that'll log you in. Now, I'm not going to show you mine. Here it shows you how the autofill works, which we'll demonstrate in a little bit. That is one of my favorite features about Lastpass. So, when you log in, you'll see your vault, which looks like this. What happened to it? Here we go. Looks like this. You got all your sites on here, which when you first install it, it will give you the option to import your browser passwords, so that's good. That also will delete them from there, so they're more secure now. So yeah, you definitely want to do that if you can. But anyway, yeah, you got your different accounts here, and even some notes, which I'll show you later. But yeah, so if you click on one of those, you'll get this little window. It shows you the URL, which is for the sake of autofill. You can name it whatever you want. You can put it in a folder. Username, which is a lot of times your email. And then your password, of course. And then you can add little extra notes to it. Yep, so that's what you get when you go there. Now, we'll get into like autofill and stuff in a minute, but let me show you what else you can do in the vault itself. If you go to, here's my vault here. You can go here to Secure Notes, And I don't have any at the moment, but you can see you can actually add, stuff that's not a site. So like your Wi-Fi password, your social security number, that kind of thing, and it will store them securely in Lastpass. Also, you can do form fills, which doesn't work as well as passwords, which is why I don't use it. But basically, this will let you, like, you can put in like your credit card information or your address, and it'll fill them automatically when you're shopping. So, again, it doesn't work as well though. That's why I don't really use it. And a security challenge, which I'll show you guys last. And there's also a cool feature where you can share passwords with people. So, like, if you're working on a website and your friend or coworker is helping you with it, you can share the password with them, assuming they have Lastpass, and then you can choose, if you want to, you can even choose to have them not see what your password is. So that way, if it's someone that maybe you don't trust as well, you can take it from them at any point, and they would have never known your password. So that's kind of cool, using that autofill feature. So yeah, so let's demonstrate how sites work. So I deleted my Twitter from Lastpass so I could add it back here on video. So let's go to, hold on one second. I didn't want it to show you guys what it is. So go here to sign in. And this is how, if you have a site that's not already in your Lastpass, this is how it'll work. So enter your username. I'm just going to use my YouTube Twitter account and your password, which I don't actually know because it's super secure. So let me copy and paste that real quick off camera. That's another thing you can do too, and I'll show you in a minute, is that you don't have to do this. If the idea of this intimidates you, you don't have to, but you can actually have Lastpass make you super secure passwords that you would never know on your own. So that's kind of cool. And because you're using autofill, you really don't need to know what they are anyway. So that's kind of cool. Hold on one second, guys. I need to get my password here. Sorry about that, guys. I had to locate my password. But anyway, so this is what you'll do if your account's not already in Lastpass. You'll enter your username and password like you normally would. And then hit log in. And it'll come up here and say add to Lastpass. And if you wanted to, and you can just click add, but if you want to, you can click edit. And I'm not going to show that, of course, but yep, it shows your username, password, and then you can choose the folder. That's good, so we'll hit add. Yep, so now it's in your vault. So now if you wanted to log out and log back in, it would autofill it for you, so that's cool. So, and then, yeah, so that's how you add passwords to Lastpass. Now let me show you how to change your password or make a new account. So we'll go to, I guess CNN.com, just kind of the first thing that popped in my head. I don't think I have an account for this yet, so let's make a new account here. Let's just do my YouTube account name, I guess. Email, I'm gonna, we'll use my YouTube email, which I don't really care if you guys know this because it's associated with my YouTube account. It's not my personal one or anything. First name, Computerkid. That's just kind of a dummy account. So, password. So this is cool. So you can just make your own password if you want. Just your own password if it's something that maybe you don't, someone else is using as well, and you just want to make it where everybody can remember it. That's fine. You can do that. However, as you start to get used to LastPass and you start to figure out that, wait a minute, I'm using the autofill most of the time, you might want to go ahead and make your own, have it make you a password, so it's much more secure. So what you can do here is, it doesn't do it on this one, but a lot of times it'll be a little circle thing there that'll let you create a password. If it doesn't, you can go up here to your extension and then generate secure password. And you can see here, yep, that's your secure password it generated. And you can change the length of it if there's a limit on the site. You can go all the way up to 100, which is pretty crazy. You can do, I would recommend doing all these if you can, although some sites don't let you do characters, unfortunately. But anyway, you can even make it pronounceable if you want to try to remember it. So yeah, so we'll just do that one, I guess. I'll have to do that a few times, and then that one's good. So we can copy password and paste it here. Your zip code. Okay, so submit. When you hit submit, you'll get, oh yeah, that's another thing. Google Chrome itself wanted to save it. You don't want to let them because, again, that's not very secure. But you do want to add it to Lastpass. So, edit. See, this is where you want to sometimes need to edit. So we want to add the username there and the password. And let's do news and add. Okay, and I'll probably delete that later. But yeah, so anyway, that shows you how to make an account on it. Now let's show you the security challenge and what that's like. So let me pull it up here. Okay, so if you go to this little thing over here, that's your security challenge. This will show you kind of how you're doing if you're just using your old password. Now again, if the idea of having like super secret passwords intimidates you, don't let that scare you away from using Lastpass in the first place. I mean, you can use Lastpass as purely a password vault. However, I would recommend as you get used to it a little more and you start to get used to autofill, I would get to where you have most of your passwords that are generated by Lastpass just for the sake of security. So you'll see that I have a pretty good score when we look here in a minute. And that's kind of what you want to aim for. Yeah, so you can see 88%, top 3%, that's pretty good. Master password's 94%. I probably could make that better, and I probably will at some point. Okay, so if you go down here, you can see all your sites. The only reason this is 50% here is because this is my school email and my actual school account, which have to be the same password, unfortunately. And for autofill, it freaks out if you try to use both of them. So unfortunately, I had to make those the same, but you can see everything else is pretty good. You got 94%, probably because it didn't use a character. 100%, and the rest of these are 100%. So, yep, as you can see, pretty secure there. So you're not going to be like that at first, probably, but you don't want to rush to do this necessarily. But I would, as you get used to it, I would aim for that as kind of a goal to have all your passwords secure. Just kind of, as you log into stuff, maybe change your password. So, yep, and some of these even let you auto-change, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but that's kind of cool that it gives you the option. So, yeah, so anyway, sorry about maybe overcomplicating things, but I just wanted to give you guys a pretty easy-to-use tutorial, and, yeah, I would recommend you... Oh, one more thing I did want to talk about. If all you care about is learning how to use it, you can leave now. I'm pretty much done. But I did want to talk about something that came up recently, which is the security concerns. Now, I'm going to show you guys this article. It did come out recently that there was a possible security breach in Lastpass, and you see people all over the place now like, oh, don't use Lastpass, you're going to get hacked, etc. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. Yes, the security breach happened, and again, you can read this article for yourself, and it'll tell you all about what happened and everything. However, the issue was pretty much fixed. It was fixed immediately after it happened, and if you read the article here, it talks about how it's really not a big deal. Your stuff is still secure. It's still, nobody's going to get your passwords, and like I said, Lastpass himself doesn't even know the master password. So, yes, this is a thing, and it might scare you a little bit, but I'm here to tell you that it is okay. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this is a biased article because it's on their website. Yes, that might be true, but I'll put another link in the description to a interview that was done on the New Screensavers, which is a technology podcast on the Twit network. They did an interview with a security expert that was talking all about this, and basically his conclusion was that you're fine, don't worry about it, continue to use Lastpass. Just know that there was a brief period where someone could get into your Lastpass potentially through your web browser, but again, that's been fixed. And as long as you continue to change your passwords every now and then, change your master password every now and then, you're fine. Lastpass is still the most convenient password manager out there, in my opinion, the most practical, and the most secure, or one of the most secure. So I would not be scared away by that. If you were skeptical about this, read this article, and if you're still skeptical, then go watch that interview I post. It's very I was actually a little worried about it too until I saw that interview, and then I was like, oh, it's no big deal. You're fine. So all things considered, convenience, ease of use, and security, I would recommend using Lastpass still. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, sorry for going into a little bit too much detail, but I just kind of wanted to make sure anybody could watch this tutorial and learn how to use it. I taught my dad how to use this, and he knows how to do it just fine, just like I do. So it's a pretty easy to use, pretty convenient thing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe as always.